An image of normality turned upside down. Like a giant scrapyard, abandoned cars block a tunnel in central Zhangzhou. Roads transformed into rapidly flowing rivers, where in some areas, boat is the only way to get around. The city's inhabitants are used to typhoons, but they're still coming to terms with the scale of this week's deluge. It was the heaviest rainfall in 60 years. On Tuesday, more than 200 millimeters fell in just 1 hour. On state TV, the images have been more uplifting. Rescuers bringing young and old to safety. Some of the estimated 800,000 residents who've been displaced. The emphasis is on the positive work being done, not on those who've died.
Our teams have rushed to many places. We are carrying out tasks like blasting and flood diversion, flood fighting and rescue, as well as mass evacuations.
The underlying message, the party will protect you. On social media, though, there's anger at why local weather forecasters failed to warn residents properly. The city lies in a flood-prone area. The provincial government reportedly spent more than $8 billion building defenses that were supposed to prevent disasters like this happening. Now, more extreme weather is threatening the area. A typhoon is bearing down on China's eastern coast and could make landfall this weekend. Adrian Brown, Al Jazeera, Hong Kong.
All right. Giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Peace and salutations unto the Achiam, the brothers, pushing this truth through the four corners of the earth in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered, the speckled bird Israelites will be scattered among the heathen. I say shalom, and I say shalom unto the few but faithful Akwat, listening and learning. This is your brother Yerushalayim from the GMS Prophetic Vibrations Camp out of Trinidad and Tobago, coming at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakha Kodash. Alright, now this video is going to be entitled Moab shall be held in derision. Alright, so the Lord is bringing, Moab, which is China, the Chinese. Alright, he's bringing them down. Alright, because why? Moab have glorified herself in the eyes of the Lord, before the Lord. Alright, she's also oppressed Israel, who's scattered among her. Alright, and they talking about, the weather forecasters, and, they didn't predict, they can't predict, because why? If you notice, even recently, even in Trinidad and Tobago, they haven't been able to predict the weather 100%. They said rain coming in one and it's hot sun. They say hot sun and then it's rain. Alright, so the Lord is confusing things and letting them know that they're not in control. They can't predict him. Alright? They can't, you can't warn the people. Alright? You can't warn the people about the destruction of the Lord. Alright? Because the Lord could bring it suddenly and he could change anything he wants. He could change the weather patterns, anything he wants. Alright? So he's bringing serious disaster and destruction on these Moabites. Alright? These Chinese. So, we after all this damage, and all the people dead, Alright? Death toll, they say death toll goes up to 33, a lot more than that. Alright? They're trying to downplay it, saying they're staying positive. But they can't they will say they're staying positive, but really the Lord is going to bring them down so low. They're not going to have any positivity about them whatsoever. Alright? The Lord is going to deal with them drastically. You see now a typhoon now is on its way. Alright? A typhoon, which is a more powerful version of a hurricane that we are accustomed to in the Caribbean. Alright? So hey, the Lord is bringing them down. Alright, and that's his will that they be brought down. Alright, so let's now go to some scriptures here. Alright, let's go to Isaiah 28 and verse 2. Right? It reads, behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, right? Which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, alright, shall cast down to the earth with the hand, right? With the hand, with the power, with his power. So the Lord is sweeping them away with a flood of mighty waters, alright, a destroying storm. That's what's coming upon them, alright. Isaiah 29 and verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, alright, and the flame of a devouring fire, alright, and the multitude of all nations that fight against Ariel, which is what Ariel is Ariala, which is what lion of God, which goes back to what Jerusalem, or Yasharala, right? So the multitude of the nations that fight against Yasharala of Israel, even all that fight against her and her munition that distress her, shall be as a dream of a night vision. Alright? It shall even be as when a hungry man dreameth, and behold, he eateth, but he awaketh, and his soul is empty. Or as when a thirsty man dreameth, and behold, he drinketh, but he awaketh, and behold, he is faint, and his soul had appetite. So shall the multitude of all the nations be that fight against Mount Zion. And they fought against Mount Zion. Even now they oppress Jake over there. Yeah, they were doing pretty much a lot of DNA testing, alright, to see who are the Jakes among them, testing men, fully grown men and boys, alright. And it's basically is DNA testing they're doing to see who are Jake among them, because why? The Lord said, the Lord said, and that's in the book of Isaiah as well, Isaiah 16 and 4, Israel is among Moab. Isaiah 16 and 4 say, let mine outcast dwell with thee, Moab. Be thou a cover to them from the face of the spoiler, who is what? Esau Edom. Alright, the spoiler is Esau Edom. For the extortioner is at an end, the spoiler ceaseth, the oppressors are consumed out of the land. And even still, Moab still oppressed the people, oppressed Israel. Alright, they've always been destroyed. Our temples, they forced them into slavery to build the Great Wall of China. Alright, so now Yahweh Shem Yahushai is taking them out. The Lord is the one who sits on the flood. The Lord is the one who controls all this thing. Alright, Psalms 29 and verse 10. Yahweh Shem Yahushai sitteth upon the flood. Yea, the Lord sitteth king forever. So the Lord is the one who bringing this flood, man. And he's a terrible power. Alright, you ought to fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai. These Moabites, but they don't fear the Lord. Alright, not even all Israel fear the Lord. Alright, Psalm 66 and verse 3. Say unto the Most High, how terrible art thou in thy works. Through the greatness of thy power shall thine enemies submit themselves unto thee. And Moab is one of our enemies. If you go to Psalms 83rd chapter, alright, we're going to see that, verse 5 says, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab. So they are our enemies. So let's go back to Psalms 66, right? And verse 3, right? Say unto the Most High, how terrible art thou in thy works, and great, and through the greatness of thy power shall thine enemies submit themselves unto thee. Right? So the Lord is going to make them submit. Through all, he's going to put them through. All the earth shall worship thee, and shall sing unto thee. They shall sing to thy name, Selah. Come and see the works of the Most High. He is terrible in his doing towards the children of men. Alright? He turned the sea into dry land. They went through the flood on foot. There did we rejoice in him. He ruleth by his power forever. His eyes behold the nations. Let not the rebellious exalt themselves. And Moab exalted themselves. Alright? They exalted themselves before the Lord. And this is why Yahweh Shem Yahushai is taking them down. Right? He's going to take them down. Right? Slowly and then quickly. Like Jeremiah 48 and verse 2. There shall be no more praise for Moab. In Heshbon they have devised evil against it. Come, and let us cut it off from being a nation. Also thou shalt be cut down, O madmen, the sword shall pursue thee. So, first of all, Moab was taken into captivity and brought across from the Middle East into where they are now in China. Alright? And now, now they exalt themselves in the eyes of the Lord. The Lord is going to rip them out. He's going to take them out, root them out. Jeremiah 48 and verse 25. The horn, which is the power, the horn of Moab is cut off, the power, and his arm is broken, saith the Lord. Alright? Make ye him drunken, for he magnified himself against the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Moab also shall wallow in his vomit, and he also shall be in derision, he shall be mocked. Alright? Let's get that word, derision.
Derision.
Contemptuous, ridicule, or mockery. Mockery, ridicule, jeering, jeer, sneers, denigration, taunted. They're going to be taunted. Because at the end of the day, they believe that they are the next world power to rule. Alright? They believe they are the next world power to rule. But Yahweh Shem Yahushai have other plans. They're going about, lending money to everybody, But they're not gonna they're gonna have to cease that. They're gonna have to focus all their money on themselves now again. So the Lord is gonna put a stop to them. He's not gonna let them he's not gonna raise them up like he did with Esau. Right? With America, which is Babylon the Great. Right? Jeremiah 48 and verse 25, the horn, the power of Moab is cut off, and his arm is broken, the arm is the power, saith the Lord. Make ye him drunken, for he magnified himself against the Lord. He magnified himself. Moab also shall wallow in his vomit, and he shall also be held in derision. For was not Israel a derision unto thee? So they made Israel a derision. They laughed at us, right? When the Lord punished us, right? When he allowed us to become slaves under them. So now the Lord is going to return the favor. Was he found among the thieves? Among thieves? For since thou spakest of him, thou skippedest for joy. So they rejoiced at our downfall. Alright? Verse 29. We have heard the pride of Moab. He is exceeding proud. His loftiness and his arrogancy and his pride and the haughtiness of his heart. Alright? So they're proud. Now you say the Lord said he resisted the proud. I know his wrath, saith the Lord, but it shall not be so. His lies shall not so effect it. The Lord is going to pull them down. Let's go to the Apocrypha. 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 46. Alright? And thou Asia, we're talking about Moab and so forth. That art partaker of the hope of Babylon. So they follow after Babylon the Great. They think that they're going to be ruling next, right? As I was saying earlier. Alright? And art the glory of a person. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. Alright? Thou hast followed her, that is hated in all her works and inventions. We're talking about Esau, Edom, and by extension, Babylon the Great, which is America. They follow America. Thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore saith the Lord, because the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, hate America for their wickedness. Right? A cage of unclean birds. Verse 49 say, I will send plagues upon her, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. So this is what the Lord is doing here in this time. That's what the Lord is starting to do right now, with his flooding, and then hurricanes, typhoon and so forth. So we're jumping on to verse 39, Jeremiah 48 and 39. It reads, they shall howl, saying, how is it broken down? How hath Moab turned the back with shame? So shall Moab be a derision and a dismaying to all them about her. Alright? Verse 42, and Moab shall be destroyed from being a people, because he had magnified himself against the Lord. So they lost the name, which is the real name, which is Moab. And people, they call them the Chinese, which was the twin of Esau, Edom. Alright? Which is Jeremiah, I believe, 25 and verse 7. He put a covering cast over all the people. Alright? But the Lord is going to break them. Alright? The Lord is going to break Moab now in this time, because she's exalting herself once again. Verse 47, yet will I bring again the captivity of Moab in the latter days, which is now, saith the Lord. Thus far is the judgment of Moab. So the Lord is going to bring them captive under who? His people, Israel, Yasharallah. Alright? So all the nations have to be in fear right now, because the Lord is coming down with them with his dreadful arm, his dreadful right hand. Alright? And they're going to be broken in pieces. And ultimately, Yahweh Shai is going to come back and he's going to finish the job. Alright? So I pray this lesson has been edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Wa Abad Babal, right, destruction unto Babylon and unto Moab. Shalom.